whatever you wind up doing is exactly what you should be doing.
And I have not behaved one single day of my life. Not one day of my life have I behaved, and I am fine.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us on the Nikki Medoro show on this, I guess, kind of dry, kind of wet Wednesday morning.
Yeah, it's weird.
SJ Lola was saying there's light rain in San Jose. I had the carpooler take the kid to school today, so I have not been outside yet. But I'm going to take your word for it, SJ Lola, that it's raining out there. I'm done with the rain. I'm done with the storm. Thank you for everyone who was patient with me yesterday as my internet kept going in and out and in and out and in and out. So it sucked. So fingers crossed it's going to go better today. Because we have a great show coming up in a couple minutes. Chip Franklin will be on as he does on Wednesdays. We'll ask him about a bunch of stuff from politics to... I didn't get to any of my nose stories yesterday. So I'm going to throw those at Chip Franklin because we were talking about the Crumbly mom getting sentenced for involuntary manslaughter. So that was some big news. We do have some parenting news actually later on in the show. Our everyone's favorite mother, Elizabeth Holmes, who decided to get knocked up while she knew she was going to prison. So she just had a birthday. I don't mean to be so harsh, but if you know that you're probably going to go to prison, why would you start having children? But anyways.
Well, maybe you know that this is your childbearing moment because you're going to be locked up so long you're never going to have another chance. So
we could debate that again. I mean, are you being a good mother just because you want to have children?
Absolutely
and
not.
Be gone for
How
so
incredibly
freaking
selfish.
long? Exactly, exactly. So we'll touch on that. Things are not looking good for Oakland, although now I'm not going to say this is kind of a ray of hope to keep the A's in Oakland, but it says a lot when even Vegas's mayor thinks they should stay. So we will touch on that as well. Of course, the countdown to the Super Bowl has everybody all excited, including myself. So
did you see yesterday they had that fan thing, where all the players were in the stadium
it's like
and they all talking to the media and all the 49ers fans were booing during the Kansas City Chiefs interviews. And it was loud. Right. It was really loud.
That's right. I would not have done that. It's again, it's bad juju. You know how I feel? But I'll, be kind, be nice to each other. Those interviews or those questions from the press are kind of lame. Like, what house would you, what Harry Potter house would you put the players in? Blah, 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 blah. So it's, it's a long week of trying to figure out what to talk about. Practice starts today. Niners not happy about their playing field, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? You got to play on whatever field you're given. Okay, before we get to Chip, let's click the thumbs up button, show your support for the show. We really do appreciate it. You have about less than 24 hours to get your raffle tickets for our fundraiser in right now. And so many of you have. So there it is. It's $10 per ticket. And you can either win the 49ers cooler on the left or thank you to Candace from Sebastopol offering up those vintage KGO wine glasses. So you have to specify which one you want it to go on. We are accepting payment through PayPal only. So go to paypal.com, hit send and put in the email, the show's email, the Nikki Medoro show at gmail.com, the Nikki Medoro show at email.com. And I've received a bunch of emails. If you can't find it, there should be a comment box where you specify which prize you want to put the tickets in for. It's $10 a ticket again. If you can't find it and you send it in, you're like, shoot, what do I do? Email me at that email address and let me know. And some of you have already done that. So it's the Nikki Medoro show at gmail.com, the Nikki Medoro show at gmail.com. And I would say at this point, we're kind of split on who wants the cooler and who wants the wine glasses, but get your raffle. I'm going to cut it off. It'll give me about an hour to make sure any stragglers. I hope if you could do it today, that would really help me out so I can get all the names in. But if not, you have until 8:00 tomorrow morning, and then that's it. And then I'm not accepting it anymore. And then you just can't win the prize. I have to be able to organize the darn thing. So again, paypal.com, Send the money to the Nikki Medoro Show at gmail.com, and you can win one of those prizes, and we will announce that tomorrow. So thank you to everybody. And again, of course, the NikkiMedoroShow.com is where you can sign up for our Patreon, because we are 100% crowdfunded and appreciate each and every one of you. Okay, let's get into some fun stuff, some politics with our friend, Chip Franklin, that you can find at chipfranklin.com. Hello, my friend.
What up? What up? How you
How
doing?
Are you? I'm
Hello,
good.
Nikki.
Are you staying dry? I was a bit worried about you, my friend, with all the
San
storms.
Diego, yeah, it's like, come on, we're in the media. We know how it works. They're going to show the worst parts of the city, which is a small little area down by the airport. I mean, there's some
not
flooding.
In the Ritchie area where you live, right?
Exactly. No, we don't. Yeah. In fact, the rain has to actually send us a letter in advance if it's okay to rain on us here in this the douchey area of San Diego that I inhabit. But hey, you know what? I'm into my second month of not drinking now. I stopped
at all.
At all, yeah. And I do not miss it at all.
Is there a reason why you gave up the drinking?
It was getting in the way of my heroin buzz. I think.
I could see that. Yeah, that could be a bit difficult.
No, you know what it was? It was like mostly just calories. I'm just trying. I'm working out like 4 days a week and trying to thwart the advancing years. And
I'm feeling every advancing year. I swear to God, I have, I think, a pinched nerve in my back. And so it's so painful. It's painful even to just sit down. I'm going to go start physical therapy like in a week because I just can't. Getting old sucks, Chip. I'm just saying. It gets.
But as the saying goes, it beats the alternative. And I really believe
very true. That's
my mother lived to be 98. And God bless her. She was like, she would have taken a few more years. I mean, as long as you could just keep one eye open. And so I can watch sports. You can keep me alive to 150. I don't care, right?
Are you excited about the game?
I am. I'm really torn. As I'm a Washington fan.
Why?
Well, because honestly, and this is me mixing metaphors here, but I know that most of MAGA Nation is rooting for you guys in San Francisco.
That is not true.
Because they hate Travis and Taylor so much that they're But
no, they're going to root for the San Francisco.
I know. Well, there's that.
Nancy Pelosi 49ers.
Yeah. And there's that. Although I'm pretty sure Nancy Pelosi won't be watching.
Yeah, she will. Absolutely, she will.
We'll see.
Whatever. I'm excited about the game. I'm a little nervous. My husband just got his Kristen McCaffrey jersey in the mail yesterday.
Yeah, there's 3,000 seats available as of yesterday. They go for 5,500 a piece, though, and they're probably in nosebleed. But
yeah, I mean, if it was local,
you ever been to a Super Bowl?
No.
I went to 1991, and then when Washington played in Buffalo.
Right.
And I'm from D.C. originally, so that's my allegiance. Although, Redskins might have been the most racist name in the history of professional sports. In fact, their theme song was "Hail to the Redskins, Hail Victory." But it used to be, it was written, "Hail to the Redskins, Hail Old Dixie."
Yeah, no.
And in fact, that Washington, D.C., predominantly African-American city, was the last NFL team to have a black player. So
really?
Yeah. So
wait, the last NFL team to have
their first black player.
Oh, first black. I was like, what?
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Were you talking to me?
Oh no, I wasn't. You just popped up.
Are you a black player?
Are you a black player? You just popped up on our
not in this lifetime. We'll see how that works out for me next time around.
But yeah, I'm excited about the game. I think that it's going to be a really close match. I hope. I mean, I would love it if we blew out. Obviously,
I'm going to bet about $200 on those little side
people
bets.
Are telling me they can't. How do you bet? I mean, not that we're just trying to, break the law over here.
I have friends that go to Vegas and bet for me.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I was like, how do you bet?
Caesars is great. They have all those parlays and really funny little bets, like, how long the national anthem's going to be. And I'll bet, this is the stuff I'll bet on, like, how
many times they show Taylor Swift on screen?
I'll do like, I'll get like 3-1 odds that McCaffrey is the first person to score a touchdown, right?
Ooh,
something like that. Fun. Or
what about the coin toss?
Nah, I don't care about that. I want about stuff that, like, that actually
50-51. I would take that.
I want stuff that I mentally think I have some control over. Right. I yell loud enough at the screen.
Yeah.
Somebody might make a tackle or complete a pass, Yeah. Did you watch the Grammys, by the way?
I did. Did you? I loved the show. I thought it was so good.
Yeah. The Fast Cars was just unbelievable. I mean, that was really just amazing, and to me, underneath that was a reminder that that we can, God, this is going to sound Pollyannish, but we still can bring this country together because, I mean, you got this country boy and you got this, gay black woman both singing passionately. And he was,
and it was such a good version. And I loved it. I swear.
And I really don't know anything about Luke Combs. I mean, he might be the most progressive dude in the world. I saw that Toby Keith died the other day, and he was a Trumper of the first order, and he was capable.
Yeah, but I felt like his politics. Again, I don't know much about Toby Keith because I'm not a huge country fan, but I was researching just a little bit of his background, and apparently, I mean, he was an Obama supporter too. Like he kind of waffled back and forth, but then they had the whole Natalie Maines with the Dixies or the Dixie Chicks back then put up a picture of her with Saddam Hussein, and I guess they kind of had this whole country music feud. I don't know. He's passed away at 62 from stomach cancer. That's really sad. That's a really sad way to go. Out. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the country music genre, I think, is so complicated. I kind of, in a way,
I hear you.
It's so tied to politics in America, and what does that mean?
All this BS, the wave the flag crap, and the Lee Greenwood song. God, I want to just drop him on his head.
I used to like that song until it was co-opted by Trump.
Exactly. Well, but to me, again, we're in the throes of this right now with Tucker Carlson going to Russia to interview Putin.
Oh, I saw that. He acts like I'm the only one that has ever interviewed or wanted to interview Putin. Many people have interviewed that guy.
So I'm doing a daily 8-minute editorial on the Really American, and I'll put them on my site eventually. But right now they're on Really American, which is a super PAC. It's a media, very progressive media PAC. And I'm doing one right after the show about Tucker, and I was doing the research before here, and it's no small coincidence that that Trump was asked about him as a running mate, and now he's over in Russia interviewing Putin. 500,000 people have died because of Putin's war.
Yep, exactly.
And he's bombed, churches and maternity wards and schools, and they're trying, and he says, I'm rooting for Russia. I mean, I have tape of Tucker Carlson saying, I'm rooting for Russia. Why should I care about that? And of course, the country to the west of Ukraine is Poland and the rest of NATO. Yeah. And, and this is, again, something Trump and the Republicans have said over and over again is like, why are we supporting NATO? Well, because that's who we are. I mean, all those countries.
And that's how we keep the rest of us safe. Like,
no. I mean, but it's more than an alliance. Those are our second and third cousins. I mean, from this country, right? We didn't come down from the Bering Strait 5,000 years ago. We came over 250 years ago on boats with slaves and killed the indigenous population. Our history, Howard Zinn's history of people's history in the United States. Everybody's got to read that at one point. It's such a great book, and it's mind-numbing as to what you've been taught and what is actual reality. Right. I mean, this is the whole CRT crap that the right, cries about, and Tucker Carlson and Fox News. Let me tell you, Trump got fired. I mean, Tucker got fired from Fox News for propaganda and lying. Yeah. That's like being invited to a dinner party at Jeffrey Dahmer's and getting thrown out because you used the wrong salad fork. Right?
Exactly. I mean, and even Fox News is calling out his interview with Putin, saying he's lying about being the only journalist. Yeah. I mean, when Fox News calls you out for lying, you're really lying, because that's the lying network, man.
That's master class.
Yes.
Right there. You should run one of those little things about how to lie to the American public. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's funny that's kind of one of the other, of course, big story is the border.
Yeah, and Mayorkas' impeachment going down. They can't get it together. I mean, not that I thought that he should have been in a wheelchair
for the last vote is awesome. The Democrat, if you guys missed that, he had surgery, and they tried to schedule this. Marjorie Taylor Greene and her little devil band tried to put with Mike Johnson, the guy who, Mr. Porn with my son guy. He's just, if you don't know that story, if you remember, of course, he said that he and his son both have apps on their phones to see if each other's watching porn. I mean, I effed up that.
Each other accountable. It's an accountability app, Chip. That's what it is, right? But the fact, when I saw the headline yesterday that the Mayorkas impeachment failed because of infighting, obviously within the Republican Party, it just goes to show. I want to play this quick video since we're talking about it. I mean, this is a Republican not only calling out his own party, but calling out their dear leader, Donald Trump, and literally saying that Donald Trump lied. And this is Chip Roy.
No, we're not going to just pass the buck and say that, oh, any president could walk in and secure the border. I saw former President Trump make that allegation earlier today on one of his social media posts. All the president has to do is declare the border is closed, and it's closed. Well, with all due respect, that didn't happen in 2017, 18, 19, and 20. There were millions of people who came into the United States during those 4 years. No.
So, I mean, even Chip Roy is calling out freaking Donald Trump and all the BS that he's saying.
I think that, when you look at this bill, this border bill, most of it is most of what's attached to this border bill are the Ukrainian support, Israel support, but also a lot of great stuff in there too that Republicans should love.
That's what I'm saying.
But at the heart of it, like, here's what they got rid of. Okay, no more catch and release. Okay,
right.
So if we catch somebody, you hold them. People that apply for asylum don't get to just walk around the United States, and if they get it's a detention until the asylum factors are figured.
Right. And it puts more people at the border to go through the asylum cases, which is what we actually also need.
And they talk about border encounters. You've heard of that phrase?
Yeah.
Here's what a border encounter is. A border encounter is if somebody walks up to the gate and says, hey, can I get into America? And they say no, that counts as an encounter.
Of course.
So when you hear about hundreds of thousands of encounters, people are thinking that means they cross the border and they're here. They're at a Winn-Dixie in Boulder, Colorado. No, they're still trying to get into the United States. And there's 3 different scenarios where we would shut the border down. And one is if these quote unquote border encounters reach a certain amount, which is 5,000, which is what Trump was lying about, saying we're going to let in 5,000 people a day. It's a freaking blatant lie that everybody should come out and say, both sides should say, look, this guy is obviously.
Some of the Republicans were, but they're being ignored. That Lankford guy who was one of the architects of the bill, he was saying, look, that's not what we're talking about, but they're not listening.
Well, he especially called out Trump on the 5,000 number. He said that was a lie. So anyway, so this is a strong border bill. It really does work, but Trump wants to campaign on it. And we've seen before that with few exceptions, Lankford's won. Now he joins Cheney, Kinzinger. In the Senate, there's a few more, obviously, Republicans, like Romney and others that have stood up to Trump. But I think, yesterday was a good example of what's happening. Trump doesn't, and then this is something, again, other people missed, I think, is Trump doesn't really expect to get immunity. There has never been any expectation.
So you think the U.S. Supreme Court is going to uphold the lower court?
I don't even think they're going to hear it.
Oh, you don't? I thought that they already decided that they were. Have they not made that decision yet? Oh, I thought I saw something.
Well, first of all, it has to go to the Trump. What Trump will do, he will appeal it to the D.C. appellate court. There's another D.C. appellate court because he wants delay. He wants to delay this thing forever. And then he will appeal to the Supreme Court. And I believe the Supreme Court, look, you read the decision from the 3-judge court, again, 2 judges by Biden, 1 judge by Bush, and they just quote the Constitution. They said, Imagine if a president had unlimited powers.
Thank you.
So, and it's obvious that, look, we do have, there have been people like Bill Barr back when he was, the attorney general, that said they believe we should have a stronger presidency. In fact, John Adams wanted the president to be referred to as His Excellency, So there is a history of people looking at a strong kind of quote unquote benevolent dictatorship kind of presence. This guy has been benevolent, and we definitely don't need a dictator, even though he wants to be a dictator. What do you say? You got to get the right thing on that word, or it sounds funny. Dictator. A dictator sounds like something that McLennan says.
Exactly.
I want to get a dictator. Really? A dictator. Anyway.
Yeah, but also, it's our history, right? When you come from a place with a king and a queen and all that, that's kind of like in your mentality of how things should be run. And starting this country without that, I understand why some of the early founders were thinking about something like that. But it's 2024. It's 2024. Yeah. We do not need that. And I don't know why some Republicans agree with Donald Trump on this immunity thing. They have to understand you won't always have your president in power. Think about the repercussions of this. So,
well, it's never going to happen. It's all about delaying the trial. They want the trial delayed. And that even presents, I had David Katz on yesterday and we talked about this, and Katz is such an optimist. He wouldn't even entertain the idea that Trump might win in 2024. And then
I hope not. Yeah.
But hold on. I know. But so say Trump goes to trial and is convicted and then starts an appeal and then he wins. Now, there are numbers out there that's, polling, strong polling that indicates a conviction would be the line that many Republicans won't vote for a president who's been convicted of a federal crime, like trying to, overturn an election. So the question is, what would happen? He gets elected president, and then it's time to sentence him, and he's sentenced to prison. So Biden would have to then, again, you got a whole nother thing here too, right? So let's say Tucker Carlson is his vice president, so nominee.
Ninth scenario.
Hold on. Yeah, right. And so Trump is arrested, and then if he's put in prison, how can he then go to the inaugural?
Right.
Right. And
how can he take the oath that he doesn't abide by anyway?
Well, yeah, everything's on the table here, and people, anybody that says what I'm saying couldn't happen, I'm saying, let's go back to 2015, and let's jump ahead 9 years, and you tell me that you could have foreseen the events that find us where we are right now.
Yeah, but it's kind of scary when Nikki Haley can't even beat none of these candidates. She came in second behind. I'd rather have nobody. And that blows
Nevada.
My mind.
But
still, the fact that there's Republicans there. I'm not saying Nevada is the end all be all, but the fact that there's more Republicans in Nevada that would vote for nobody is just it's the hold that Trump has because he wasn't on the ballot.
Well, Nikki Haley is obviously hoping that Trump's hot air balloon will crash and burn at some point, and that she wants to be there. If I were Chris Christie, I would not drop out. I would hang in there.
Well, they suspended their campaign. So
I know, but when they go, I don't know where the convention is this year, but I think as we get closer to this, Super Tuesday is going to be that's coming up. Super Tuesday is going to be an interesting day, and if Americans show that they're willing to still vote for Donald Trump, then we have, they only watch Fox. If they were only listen and watch this show, they would get the information they need to be able to make
I think their blood pressure would go through the roof. But it's.
By the way, you were talking about kings and queens earlier. Prince Charles has to be going, God dang it!
Oh my God!
I wait all these years for my mother to die. I finally become king, and I go, what's wrong with me? Right?
I literally said the same thing. I was like, he's been waiting so long to be king, and now he can't be king because he's having this. And of course, my heart goes out to him and what have you. But that's what happens when your mom lives forever. Like you get health, and obviously, I hope
he's not. We don't know it's a serious cancer, do we?
No, I don't know. But he's stepping away from his duties.
Well, I think,
to battle cancer.
My gut is if they're looking for prostate cancer, they probably found some sort of gut cancer. And hopefully, early on, like if it's something like, if it could be bladder cancer.
He's not young, Chip. He's not
He's like
young.
73, isn't he? Something like that, 72?
Well, yeah, but when you get cancer at an older age, it even if it's not that serious, it can have a more serious impact on your health.
Well, I think he's going to have some good doctors, and we'll see.
Well, I would hope that he has the best freaking.
My gut tells me that it's not like
Well, it's not skin cancer. He wouldn't be stepping away from his duties if it was something like that.
Well, that guy's even wider than I am. No, I think that it's my gut is, and I'm fingers crossed because did you watch this year's Crown?
No, I don't watch that show.
What do you mean?
Kim watches it. I don't watch that show.
It's a great show.
I know. She loves.
You say I don't watch that show.
Don't watch it.
Like it's like you're a Mormon, and then this is
let's bring Kim in. No, Kim, come in here. So Kim watches it.
The Crown.
You can talk the Crown with it. I don't watch it.
Wasn't it great?
I haven't.
I forget the actors. Did you ever see The Wire? You guys saw The Wire, right?
You got me into The Wire.
Okay, McNulty plays the king.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. And he's great. He's really, really good.
And is there something special about this season that I should be made aware of? Is it?
Oh yeah,
is it current?
It's the Princess Diana dies season.
Yeah, it's remarkable. It's a really remarkable season. You could watch it without watching any of the previous years and really get into it. Wouldn't you agree, Kim?
I agree because most people know the current history anyway. But I'll tell you, the season one. You watch those shows and some of them you're like, did that really happen? And you're Googling the history.
Right.
Oh, Jesus, that happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's so worth watching. And the acting is amazing. And this season, you felt the grief of those two boys losing their mom.
Right.
And
then
you
they
understand
and they push apart.
Oh.
You understand the death in a whole different way of what happened to her. It's really worth watching. Yeah.
You'd like it. It is good. And
I can only watch so much television.
Did you watch The Wire? All 5? Do you watch The Wire?
Yes. Okay. I gave you all the props on KGO when I finally watched The Wire because, and I turned into freaking you. I'm like, have you seen The Wire? You have to see The Wire. I still quote The Wire as if it still can be made today because The Wire was based on the fact of cell phones and burner phones were just coming out and all those sorts of things. Now you get a drone to follow somebody. So many storylines in The Wire wouldn't work anymore, but yeah, such a great show. I love it. I should rewatch that show and West Wing. I want to rewatch that one.
My wife has been saying for the last year, we got to watch White Lotus.
Oh, that's a good one.
Hold on. So we finally start to watch it, and this is about 5 days ago, the first one, and I'm halfway through, and I'm like, this sucks. I don't really want to watch this. No, hold on. So then she says, I'm going to keep watching it. So last night or 2 nights ago, I come up to bed and she's watching. It's the last half hour of the last season. So I sit down to watch it and I see this guy taking a crap into a suitcase. And I go, I see turds coming out of his butt in a suitcase. I go, okay, well, I'll watch
this show now. Now you got me. You got me with the turd in the suitcase.
So you got me with the turd. Anyway, so I'm watching the second season with her and I'm enjoying it now that I kind of understand the premise of it.
Yeah, and that's what you needed. Like some of these, like Succession was the same way. People are like, I don't know. It seems
I haven't finished that.
If you look at it like a comedy, a really dark comedy, it's so funny. But the last season, Chip, I mean,
did you watch Fargo? We haven't talked much about TV. This season's Fargo.
I'm watching True Detective. I'm not watching Fargo.
Oh my God. You got to watch this because each year is separate. It's not connected to the previous year. This year with John Hamm. You like John Hamm?
I do.
Oh my God. He owns this. Did you watch Ted Lasso?
Of course I watched Ted Lasso.
Okay. You know, the young girl that was, good friends with the owner of the team.
Yeah, the PR chick. Yeah,
she plays the most badass. Reminds me of you in a way. She is so, but she's because she's teeny. Yeah, but she plays this incredible badassness. You got to watch it. You will. I guarantee you will love it.
Okay, this season of Fargo. I'm into True Detective.
By the way, remember we used to share a Hulu account, and then they changed it all up.
No, I you know what else I just lost? Which sucks. And I've been bragging about it. So I was still able to steal Netflix. If I watched it on my phone, I couldn't stream it I couldn't have it on my smart TV. And they finally got me. And I'm not going to reach out to my friend and be like, give me the code every time I want to watch Netflix. So I have no more.
So what do you have? I have Prime.
I have everything, I feel like.
I have Prime. I have Netflix. I have Hulu. I have Hulu. Max.
Yeah, I have Max. And I steal Max still.
And I have I have Paramount,
I have
get
Paramount,
my Jeremy Renner fix.
I have all those stupid ones.
Have you watched Mayor of Kingstown?
Yeah.
Oh
with
my
Kate Winslet.
God.
Oh my God, that was so good. So good.
Jeremy Renner, I met him once and he's, first of all, a teeny little guy, but as advertised, just a great guy. And,
and what happened, he's going to be back what was his Marvel character again?
Oh yeah, I don't care about that.
Yeah, but he gave an interview saying that he's going to be coming back. So there's a lot of good TV to watch right now. I can't watch it all, obviously, but I'm trying. I want to ask you one more quick thing though, with football coming and you giving up drinking. But did you see who's like? And I don't know why this surprises me, but who's coming to the defense of Anheuser-Busch? Did you see this?
No, I forgot. I heard the story tangentially. Tell me again. What is
Anheuser-Busch
about the Bud Light stuff?
Well, the Bud Light, and apparently all the workers are going to go on strike March 1st. They're threatening to go on strike, the Teamsters and everything like that. Oh, and it was Hawkeye, by the way. Thank you.
Hi, Hawkeye.
Donald Trump is threatened to release a list of woke companies this week, but is defending Anheuser-Busch. He's meeting with a lobbyist for Anheuser-Busch next month. Of course, tickets are selling for $10,000 a pop. I don't know. And it's not so much Trump. It's this idea of kind of the woke commercial or consumerism, I guess I should say. Like these TV shows, you were mentioning the Super Bowl with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, the Grammys. Some people said that they liked it a lot. The ratings were up. I mean, are you surprised that there's like this turn with Anheuser-Busch with Donald Trump? And do you think that that's going to help Bud Light? Bud Light.
Well, here it is.
It's a huge company.
Mark Maron said it best. He says, I'm 85% woke. And I've learned to tell the other 15% to shut the F up.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to, you know, when it comes like to trans people, right? I mean, I see trans people, and that's at the heart of this. That's the heart of the Bud Light thing. If people remember, it's because of they hired a
transgender person, Dylan.
So, like, I mean, look, do I understand it? No. Do I respect it? Of course. It's, you know, it's. Do I empathize?
Do I think that it's just signaling? Like, I feel like it's a dog whistle to idiots, right? It's like,
exactly.
I don't like transgender people, so I don't drink Bud Light. It's this whole idea of woke products bothers me. I hate the word woke. It drives me. Although I understand what it is and people shouldn't be ashamed of it. I hate how it's been manipulated by the right. So it's so stupid. You know what I mean? I'm just so done with it. But these products, Anheuser-Busch, I mean, huge companies, they're laying off people left and right because of the Bud Light thing. That's people's jobs. And that's
because the sales are down?
Yes.
Bud Light sales dropped that bad?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
and I don't know if they'd come back, and that's
maybe people just developed a taste.
I know, but you're not drinking alcohol anymore. You were you liked your IPAs, didn't you?
That's all I drank. It was IPAs and bourbon.
There's nothing worse
and red wine. That was the problem.
So you weren't really picky.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, but you know, when you stop drinking and you know, I mean, I still take the occasional edible, you know, but that's, I mean, I don't get really high from it. I just get kind of tired.
I can't do edibles. It just messes me up.
Does it really? You're one of those people?
Well, it's not. I like more control over my high. If I was I don't want to eat something and then not know how it's going to impact me. I'd rather drink a cocktail and be able to stop.
It's not going to, you know, you're not going to be dancing on the top of Broadway.
You don't know. Sometimes I can get crazy, like, woo.
Anyway, again, always great seeing you. I know you got to go.
Oh, I love seeing you. Okay, so next Wednesday we'll have you back on. chip@chipfranklin.com is where they find all of your stuff. You have amazing shorts out. I see your shorts on my feed all of the time. So
cool.
Talking about politics, Mr. IQ, Real American.
I changed Mr. IQ because I thought it was too patriarchal. There's woke for you. No. It's called Newton's Deli now.
Oh, Newton's Deli. But I saw the black hole one. I was watching a little bit of that with that guy from UCSD, right? That you were talking about black holes with. Is that an old video? Yeah, that was good.
Black hole. That's kind of.
I was geeking out with you just a little bit. There you go. All right.
Always great seeing you, Medoro.
Go Niners!
Tell your kids I said hi, and your husband.
I will.
That he's a saint for marrying you.
Well, tell Wendy the same from me to her.
Bye, Kim. Love you.
See
you guys.
Bye. All right, that's Chip Franklin. Go check out his podcast. We love having him on Wednesdays. Okay, I wanted to get to something before your headlines real quickly.
Okay.
Because somebody messaged me on YouTube because I forgot to get to this story yesterday. So let me ask you this question. You know, obviously we want to solve terrible diseases and I will say one of the worst diseases there is dementia and Alzheimer's. Okay. Did you know that there is a bad habit that can lead to Alzheimer's? Have you seen this headline?
I've seen the headline.
So I'm sitting next to my son and I go, not that he does. And I was like, don't pick your nose because apparently nose picking can lead to Alzheimer's because it introduces some sort of bacteria that I guess can stay in your brain. Viral, bacterial, and fungal pathogens entering the brain through the nose and olfactory system. So if you have I don't know what we're supposed to do necessarily with this information. So I was like, okay, so if I was a kid and I did pick my nose and now I'm 45 years old, what am I supposed to do with this information? Am I supposed to like vilify myself? Am I supposed to tell my children, like, don't pick your nose because at some point you might get Alzheimer's disease?
Doesn't it just seem kind of silly too? There is a barrier between the end of your nasal cavity.
Some people dig for gold, Kim.
It's thin, but it's there. It's very high up. I don't know.
Very high up. Well,
it just seems. This
is chronic nose picking. They say too. It's called rhinotelexomania. Is chronic nose picking, and I don't know what constitutes the chronic part of nose picking, but I would assume daily or like constantly. But yeah, it says that if you have that chronic nose picking, it introduces germs to the sensitive nasal cavity. And that can cause inflammation in the brain, which then can lead to an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. So don't pick your nose. Okay, don't pick your nose. One more nose story, though. And did you see, and these are kind of, I kind of put these together even though they have nothing to do with each other. Somebody, and I apologize because I don't have X up right now, had reached me on X and was like, make sure you vote for this for this dog. So Bark Purdy is the dog. He's in this like the Super Bowl thing between the Puppy Bowl. Bark Purdy is up. I did vote for Bark Purdy. So I just want everyone to go and vote. It's on the Puppy Bowl. You can Google it and vote for Bark Purdy because that's our guy. But if you have a dog, there is one characteristic that will, Phineas sent it to me. Thank you, Phineas. There's one characteristic that will tell you or is a good indicator for how long your dog will live. And thankfully, I think that your dog's going to live a very long time. And I think mine will too. Where is your dog? Is Charlotte there? So apparently, the length of their snout or their nose determines how long they're going to live. And so Charlotte has a decent sized nose. So yeah, so
she does. Can you see her?
I can see her. So according to scientific reports, a medium-sized, flat-faced male like a bulldog is 3 times more likely to live a shorter life than a small-sized, long-faced female, like a miniature dachshund or an Italian greyhound. I would assume that our dogs are just kind of normal length noses, but I know I feel the same way. I want big dogs to live longer. They're working on that, though. I feel like that we did a story not too long ago about how they're working on some sort of, I don't know if it's gene editing or doing something to help make, Great Danes don't live a very long time. I don't know if I would be able to get a dog that I knew had a higher chance of dying earlier. I look at Nugget, my dog, he's 3. And I'm like, God, I can't imagine not having him anymore at all. It's just, you adopt these dogs.
The dogs that have constant health issues, like the French bulldogs.
Yes.
They're so cute and sweet, but it's like,
Or the pugs. The pugs.
Yeah.
Although I've seen some pugs live longer than people thought they would live. Jim says, I just picked up 2 golden retrievers. One has a much longer face than the other. They live together. Oh, that's good. Elise says, I have dachshunds. One made it to almost 18. So I love that. But I'm just telling you, if I have a dog that I've known for 18 years and loved for 18 and that dog passes away, I'm devastated.
Well, how long do you want it to live?
I don't
it's got
know,
a lifespan.
but I want to live past me. It's so sad.
If a dog lives to 15, you did it pretty good. It's pretty good.
I know,
that's pretty lucky.
But I think that our first dog that I had as a kid, Smokey, I remember he died on 4th of July. We came home from 4th of July party and he had died. I was in high school. So I was probably a freshman. So we got him when I was born. So kind of we grew up together. So yeah, I had to have been 13, 14 years old. So yeah, he lived, and he was a wolf. He's a wolf lab, I think, or something like that. And he shed like there was it was like snow because he was white. That's why we called him Smokey. And every time he shed, it was like snow in the backyard.
I had a dog. Our first dog was white Siberian Husky with blue eyes.
God. You can make a whole nother dog out of all that hair.
Yeah, it was. It was every time you brushed her, it was like a whole nother dog on the carpet laying there.
You can make a whole nother one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I had promised somebody that I would do the nose stories. I teased them yesterday, but we had some breaking news at the end of yesterday's show.
That's just so interesting about that, though.
I know, right?
You stick your finger up your nose, and what are you, and then what did the story say? Make sure you wash your hands first.
If you got a booger up there, I guess, if the tissue or the blowing doesn't get it, I guess, but I feel like this is more for children, right? I don't know many adults unless they have a chronic problem.
Oh, you've seen people driving down the road.
Well, yes.
Going for the,
chronically.
Going for the jackpot.
Yeah, I would say that a chronic or too much nose picking where you're bleeding out of your that would be children type of behavior. Like, get your finger out of your nose. And did you know that I've never met anybody, you know how they say your foot is as long from your wrist to your elbow, supposedly that's how long your foot is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Is this distance.
Okay.
I've never met anybody whose finger didn't fit up their nose. So your nostril has to be the same size as your finger. Is anybody not able to fit their finger up their nose?
I don't think that's true because I've known people that have very large nostrils and people that have had just the, very circular. I think your nostril will stretch, right?
Well, yeah, but I think that what I'm saying is I don't think that I've never met anybody who's, I guess, I don't know how much your nostril will, if you have gigantic hands, like big fingers, you have big nostrils.
Yeah.
I can't fit my finger up my kid's nose. It's not going to stretch that much.
I try sometimes. I just reach over.
Well, when I was a kid and that like the baby with all this.
They're like, stop it.
But yeah, no, I would say that if there was a measurement, all fingers fit up all the person's nose, every person's nose, because there's no way you can't fit your finger up your nose. So if you could fit your finger up your nose, then doesn't that mean that maybe your finger is supposed to go up there sometimes?
No. I don't think that's what it means.
If it fits.
I don't know about your scientific study. This is a new course of study. I think we should tell the study people that it's time to put this on the list.
I'm just saying, I've never met somebody who said my fingers were too big to fit up my nose. All right, but it probably can't fit.
I'm sure like maybe a big football player, with big hands probably doesn't have
I'm gonna
maybe they have to employ a little Q-tip or something. In which case you wouldn't be spreading your Alzheimer's virus around.
But I don't think you should stick Q-tips up your nose. Like that just makes my skin crawl for some reason. I feel like you're going to stick it. My friend one time was for some stupid reason.
You do it for COVID, right?
Yeah, but they're taking a swab. There's a difference between a swab and trying to get a booger.
The hell kind of conversation is this?
I know, it's a mature one. All right, let's do some headlines. Let's click the thumbs up button, you guys, though, to show your support for the show. And again, I just want to remind you, I would love it if all of you would get your tickets in today and not do it at the last minute. The raffle ticket sales end at 8 o'clock tomorrow, Thursday, February 8th at 8 a.m. February 8th at 8, okay? 8 a.m. Pacific time. So get your raffle tickets. And it's just a fun way to raise money for the show because we're 100% crowdfunded. And we really need to bump up our crowdfunding for the show to keep it on. So on the left of your screen, you'll see a 49er cooler. Now, I know not everybody is a 49er fan, but you can get it and you can give it to another 49er fan if you want to. On the right are two vintage KGO glasses that Candace from Sebastopol, and thanks to Kate of Santa Rosa for the cooler, donated for this raffle fundraiser. So get your $10 tickets in. Specify, just go to paypal.com, hit send, put in the email address, the Nikki Medoro Show at gmail.com. There should be a comment box where you could specify whether you want it to go to the cooler or the glasses. If you forget, don't worry. Just email me at the same email. Let me know your name and the PayPal and what you want it to go to, and I'll make sure that your name is in the right raffle drawing. I will do that for you. But if you can make it easier, just put it in the PayPal comment box. And yeah, and it's, again, $10 a ticket. It's a great way to do it. We'll choose the winner tomorrow. Maybe I'll probably do it around this time tomorrow, maybe halfway through the show. We'll do the raffle drawing to make sure everybody's here. And if they want to watch it live, we could do it that way. So I appreciate each and every one of our supporters. Okay, let's take a look at some news. We have a bunch of other stuff we have to get to today. So much fun. But here's Kim.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
I will say right now, it is pouring in the North Bay. I can hear the rain hitting the roof.
Is it?
It's a big storm right now in the North Bay.
Ooh,
yeah.
I'm gonna have to check.
And that's actually what's going to happen in Los Angeles, too. We have another round of rain on the way in Southern California. The National Weather Service in Oxnard posting a statement saying, don't let this morning's break in the weather fool you because more rain and mountain snow is coming this afternoon and tonight. This again for Southern California. The forecast calls for a trough of low pressure to move down from Alaska, causing several hours of rain near the California coast. Well, I will say, don't let it fool you either here in the North Bay, and likely most of the Bay Area. The rain will start in the North Bay and head southward, and we're just getting nailed right now.
I mean, I just want to, again, especially Southern California. You're saying the North Bay, but Southern California just hasn't stopped this whole entire time. I thought the rain was supposed to be over by now, but I guess not. So
no.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you hear it. I can right now with my headphones on, even I can hear it hitting the roof, and I'm thinking, "Ooh,
okay, let's
really
be quiet. Let's
out
see if
there.
we can hear Kim's rain. Go. No, I hear my fish tank.
No. Let's talk about migrants. Senate Republicans are expected to tank a $118 billion border security and foreign aid package. The Senate will hold a procedural vote on this legislation today. which is expected to be blocked by lawmakers who say it really doesn't go far enough in stopping the flow of illegal immigration. If the vote fails, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer plans to drop the border provisions and force a vote only on the aid for Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. So we'll see how this all pans out.
I don't think that's going to pass either,
No.
but okay.
A desperate search underway right now for a missing Marine helicopter in California carrying 5 troops. They had been flying from Creech Air Force Base near Las Vegas to Marine Air Corps Station Miramar in San Diego when it was reported overdue last night, this chopper. They are searching in the aircraft's last known location in the Cleveland National Forest east of San Diego. Oh, hopefully they find everybody and maybe they're okay. I don't know. House Republicans are not giving up in their push to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, despite what's being called a stunning defeat. The House failed to pass a resolution to impeach Alejandro Mayorkas last night after a small group of Republicans broke with their party and voted no on impeachment. It was a setback for Speaker Mike Johnson, who accuses Mayorkas of failing to enforce federal laws at the southern border. Failed by 1 vote. I mean, telling you, can't get that together.
Nope.
I mean, wow. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
because they were boasting all about that. They, we're going to get,
we're going to impeach.
Yeah.
We're going to. They can't get it together. They just can't.
It was a surprise, really surprise. I'm sure.
I was surprised by the headline too. Absolutely.
Lloyd Austin, he's going to get a grilling on Capitol Hill over his secretive hospitalization. Austin is scheduled to testify before the House Armed Services Committee on February 29th. Austin has faced pretty stiff criticism as his unannounced hospitalization last month was not disclosed to President Biden or any other senior administration official for several days, and that prompted some to call for his resignation. He is not going to resign. He has not resigned at this point, but he is going to be called onto the carpet to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, again, he made a mistake.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the repercussions for it should be, but you can't do that. And he embarrassed the president of the United States. He has a very important job, and we should know what's going on with him. That's it.
I don't know why you wouldn't say that. I mean, you can still keep it close to the vest, and say, I'll be out of commission for a couple days. Maybe you don't have to announce it to the media, but you got to tell the president what's going on.
Exactly.
You can't just, I don't know. When you're in a job that's that important, you can't do that.
Right.
That just doesn't make any sense. Have you heard that this new crosswalk law in California is going to take effect?
No.
This is a new law in California that could mean a ticket if you park too close to a crosswalk. The law requires parked vehicles have to be at least 20 feet away from a crosswalk. The buffer applies to both marked and unmarked crosswalks, but the law doesn't specify what constitutes an unmarked crosswalk. So is it somewhere people normally cross? Then
like
don't
if
park
your house
there.
is on the corner of a block, like a residential block.
Is that an unmarked crosswalk?
Is that an unmarked crosswalk? I would say yes then. I mean, if you have to cross the street right there, or does it have to be something with a traffic light, but they don't have those lines that we see on the screen right there?
Or does the officer just, see somebody crossing and see your car too close to where they're crossing and get to make that decision? I don't know.
That's interesting. I mean, again, are there going to be warnings given out so we could be educated on what the hell this means? I hope so.
I don't know the answer to this. This is weird. But 20 feet. Don't park 20 feet from near a crosswalk. Starting now. Just don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like because we've had those tragic stories, I know it even in residential neighborhoods, not like busy city streets. Somebody will park there and then I'm trying to go out into traffic and you can't see because there's a car right there. And then if somebody's crossing, behind it or what have you, I could understand. Here near my neighborhood, they've been putting up these cement kind of barriers. I think I've bitched and moaned about it already on this one kind of thoroughfare. It's not the busiest street, but it's commonly used, but it's near schools and everything. And they don't want people going around cars that are trying to turn to keep going. And so they put all these barriers so cars can't get by. They're trying to get to that, like, what is it called? Project Zero or whatever, with no pedestrian deaths and what have you. So I bet you that this is kind of along those lines.
Let's talk about cancer.
Let's talk about cancer, Kim.
Let's talk about it. There is a lab here in California that could be on the verge of a medical breakthrough. I feel like I say this so often, and then we have to wait and wait and wait for whatever's coming. But scientists at Stanford are working on a blood test that could potentially save millions of lives by detecting the cancer much earlier than we do now. They say the samples are far larger than what Theranos was doing before that company fell out. They insist that they are able to show results, so we'll see. But the test could also reportedly tell when patients are cancer-free so they can stop taking their medication sooner. We'll see.
And that's good because, some of these medications, they have harsh side effects. You know what I mean? So if you can stop taking them because you don't need it anymore because the cancer's gone because they could detect it much earlier, I'm all for that.
Yeah. How about magic mushrooms?
Ooh, we're all getting high.
Did we already talk about this? Oh, there's a little picture for you, a little magic mushroom picture. Here comes Senator Scott Wiener. A California senator is again trying to make magic mushrooms legal. It is the third attempt after Governor Gavin Newsom vetoed several plant-based hallucinogens last year. This time, Scott Wiener narrowed his bill to only allow psychedelics under the supervision of a licensed therapist for a safe and controlled environment. If it becomes law, supporters expect it'll take up to 2 years before anyone could be able to access treatment through that program. So you would have to go to a certain center. You would have to, it's not like, well, right now, what I understand is you can just buy it on the street corner. They have little makeshift shops set up where you can buy your mushrooms in Berkeley and San Francisco. That wouldn't be legal. But centers where there's somebody watching you, that type of thing, it would be legal there.
I mean, so right now it's magic mushrooms, MDMA, which is also called, known as ecstasy. What else was it? Awasaka. I can never say the name right. It's not Iwasaka, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So all of these things can be used in a therapeutic form in an environment to help people deal with things like PTSD, depression, anxiety. I have absolutely no problem with that as long as somebody's watching these people. I don't want a bunch of people on magic mushrooms walking down the street all the time. Sorry, that's not what I want. But if you can help people kind of get out of their I guess terrible reality and do therapy in this way, or I've heard amazing things. I really, really have. I had never experienced this therapeutic form of using these drugs, but why not? Medicine is medicine.
Well, there is word that it could help PTSD, that it could help people suffering from severe depression. Now, the problem is that I think people that are proponents of magic mushrooms say all this, and other people in the healthcare field say, wait a minute, that may be, but more study is needed before we say that it makes a definitive difference. I don't know, but these centers that have been set up in some states to help people, maybe this is where you do studies and test and see how it works out.
Yeah, and I just kind of feel like people are shooting their asses up with Ozempic and Wegovy, and how much research has been really done into that. I mean, we know that it loses weight, but you can only do so much within the time frame that it's been available. So, in magic mushrooms, ecstasy, those sorts of things, they've been around for a very, very long time. I feel like if it's an adult, I'm not talking about kids using this, okay? If it's an adult and it's in a therapy setting and they want to try it, give it a shot. That's all I'm saying.
Let's go to the homeless. This is a new push to ban homeless encampments. Sorry, I was skipping around. A new push to ban homeless encampments in California. This bill aims to keep them 500 feet away from schools, 500 feet away from open spaces and major transit stops, off sidewalks, if shelter beds are available. It would also require cities and counties give 72-hour notice before cleaning out anyone's belongings. The two senators behind the legislation say there's been a 40% rise in people living on the street, topping 181,000 per year. So this is a way to scoop up those encampments and get them out.
Right. The key word here is if there's room in a shelter for them. That's the crux of it. But yes, absolutely. You can't. I heard a quote somebody was saying, I forget the woman, but she's saying we have to stop making these places people's living spaces. Like this is not where you live. You don't get to live on the sidewalk. I'm sorry, you don't get to do that. And you don't. I think I would be pissed if my kids had to walk by a homeless encampment on their way to school if they were walking. I wouldn't like that either. So yeah, if shelter beds are available, they have to take them. There should be no discussion beyond that. I'm sorry. You just don't get to stay wherever you want to stay. And that doesn't make me heartless. That actually makes me empathetic. You should be in a real shelter. And if we can provide that for you, you need to take it.
When you look at homeless encampments or people living on the street, my first thought is, how can we let this happen to these people?
Yes.
Like, why are we not kinder to them? It's not kind to let them live in tents on the street.
No. I mean, they might, in whatever mind they're in, think this is better than going to a shelter where either I have rules or I can't bring X, Y, and Z, or I just like the freedom of it. But you can't live here. Now, I'm not saying I want them to be out of sight, out of mind. But hell, if I don't know that you're down by the river or wherever, then fine. But you can't be parked in front of businesses. You can't be parked in front of schools. You can't be parked right there. And if you want the freedom of being unhoused, if you want to not be in a shelter, then you need to make yourself more invisible. And I don't know if that's wrong to say, but that's the way I feel. I'm like, then fine, but you can't be here. You cannot be here. So I don't know what to tell them.
There's a big wager, Super Bowl wager coming up. Have you heard about this? I put the story in here just for you.
I love it.
All right. So there is a wager that is going to take place between Great America, the park, the theme park, and a Kansas City amusement park called Missouri's World of Fun. Okay. It is in Kansas City. The loser of the wager will have to name one of their rides after the opposing team for their opening weekend.
Oh, interesting.
So if the Chiefs win, Great America's The Patriot Ride will be changed to the Soaring Chiefs on March 23rd and 24th. If the 49ers win, here's a picture over at Worlds of Fun. If the 49ers win this, which, we all know is very likely, they will have to rename their Zambezi Zinger to the Niners Thrill Rally on May 4th and 5th. So it'll,
That's kind of fun. I will say that the Patriot is probably my least favorite ride at Great America. It's slow. I think it's the Patriot. Flight Deck is the fast one. I always get those two mixed up, Flight Deck and the Patriot. I think the Patriot is the one that's really slow. And I'm like, okay, I could have a whole conversation on this roller coaster. It's not
maybe they picked the one that they thought didn't matter very much.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you're going to choose one, it's not the Demon, which is just iconic, even though, again, there's much faster. And it's not the Gold Rush. That would piss me off if they made the Gold Rush one, the Chiefs, because I would be unhappy about that, because that's a good roller coaster.
So maybe they picked one because they wanted nobody to ride it that day. So if no one likes that ride anyway, plus it's called Soarin' Chiefs and there's no line, then maybe it'll be a news story like, hey, nobody wanted to ride that one today.
Exactly. Yes, the Patriot's the floorless one, and I'm pretty sure that one is slow. I don't think it's Flight Deck. I mix them up, but anyways, yeah. Okay, that is actually pretty fun because I truly believe in my heart of hearts that it'll be the Worlds of Fun place that's going to be changing their name. So fingers crossed, people.
Last story I wanted to tell you about is another one just for you, Nikki.
Okay.
And this is a new flavor of Coca-Cola. Are you ready?
Okay. Lay it on me.
Get ready for Coke Spiced.
Spiced? It's like a spicy soda?
It got a little spice.
Or does it have booze in it?
Got a little kick in it. This new flavor of Coca-Cola will be hitting the store shelves soon. Coca-Cola Spiced is set to go on sale February 19th, marking the beverage company's first new permanent flavor in 3 years. This new flavor is described as a burst of refreshing raspberry flavors and spiced notes. The company is also launching a flavor called Happy Tears that will be available exclusively on TikTok on February 17th to mark Random Acts of Kindness Day. That flavor is described as the taste of Coca-Cola paired with a splash of salty minerals.
That doesn't
Happy
sound
Tears?
good.
No thanks.
The spice one doesn't sound good. I don't drink soda.
Me neither. Yeah.
If I'm drinking soda, either I'm taking a sip of my kid's soda if they have a soda and I don't have a drink, but I usually either drink water, coffee, or booze. Like I've said that a million times. But raspberry with spiced notes sounds, in the nicest way possible, odd, right? Like it sounds a bit. I don't like raspberry soda. Seems weird. If it sounds seltzery, you know. If I'm like just not a Coke and raspberry. No, I'm not trying that one. I don't think that's going to be very popular. But maybe I could be wrong. Who knows?
I don't know. I think it sounds a little funky.
It does.
They say it's a permanent flavor. We'll see how permanent it is if no one wants to buy it.
Exactly. And it's zero sugar. If I see that, yeah. Ricky, happy tears, my morning ritual. I hope that you have happy tears when you're on the show with us. No, ew, Lori, chai Coke, no thank you. No. I do love a chai tea. I get a dirty chai tea sometimes from Starbucks, which is they put a shot of espresso in it. So, but no, I don't want chai in my Coca-Cola. I don't really drink Coke anyway. So, all right, we'll see how it does.
There you go. This report is sponsored by you,
which
means we rely on you to help us fund this Nikki Medoro Show project we're doing. Please find us on the website at thenikkimedoroshow.com. Yep. It's thenikkimedoroshow.com. We have all kinds of ways for you to help. Patreon, PayPal, the super chats and super stickers are open live here on YouTube. And thank you for all that you guys do for the show. I'm Kim McAllister on the Nikki Medoro Show.
Thank you, Kim. Yeah, everyone's coming up with some sort of ideas. Cinnamon and Coca-Cola? No. Green tea and Coca-Cola? No. Coke and Coke, Phineas. Sounds like a good time, but no. Yeah. Is it all foamy like Pepsi Nitro? SF Tesla asked. I have never had a Pepsi Nitro. It's just gross. All right, moving on to some other stories of today. Well, we can kind of keep it on the Super Bowl tip a little bit. You sent me the story yesterday, Kim. So, Fontainebleau. It's a new hotel in Las Vegas. I've heard of it.
There's one in Tahoe.
That's what I was going to say. There's one in Tahoe too. It's a fancy schmancy hotel, like whatever. But anyways, the one in Vegas opened in late December, and apparently it's been having business problems. It saw its vice president of revenue management leave, senior vice president of casino operations, which isn't very good as a casino. Their COO and their chief marketing officer have also left. Maybe Chapter 11 bankruptcies on the table, that according to SF Gate. So if you're having money problems, if you're having attention problems, what should you do? Have a Super Bowl party. Apparently, they're charging $55,000, not 100, $55,000 to go to an after party after the Super Bowl. Now, this isn't just your average party. Calvin Harris, he's like a DJ kind of person. He was dating Taylor Swift for a while. He'll be there. The party starts at 10:30 on Sunday after the Super Bowl. Cheapest seats are $7,000. Then the upper dance floor, the cheapest option is $35,000, and then it just goes all the way up to $55,000. To be directly on the dance floor, you need to spend anywhere from $35,000 to $50,000. But the $50,000, I will say this: if you have money and you're rich, the $50,000 booth seats up to 12 people with direct views of the DJ. That would be Calvin Harris. So if you and your 11 best friends have about $4,200 each, you could probably go. I'm not spending $4,200 on a Super Bowl party.
Plus, I read that you don't, like, say you went to the game and you have your 49ers gear on, you're, celebrating in your 49ers sweatshirt and your 49ers hat. You can't wear that to the party. It's like a formal party. So you would have to go from the game, go back to your hotel room, and then get really dressed up. Oscar-worthy
the party
dressed
doesn't
up.
start till 10:30, and the game probably will end around 8:30. So,
So you have a couple hours to get home and get changed.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the Super Bowl's longer than a traditional football game because of the halftime show and all the commercials and all that kind of stuff. So if the game starts, I think it starts at 3:30 is normal.
Yeah. So those tickets are as expensive as Super Bowl tickets.
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. There's a bunch of parties going on though. Let's see. The Sports Illustrated party is happening Saturday night. That's with the Chainsmokers. And if you want VIP access, that's $500. If you want to go with the normal people, it's $150. Let's see what else. The Win is hosting Gronk Beach on Saturday. That's with Super Bowl winning tight end Rob Gronkowski. It's personally curated by him. I'm assuming he'll be there, but this doesn't say. Let's see. Previous celeb attendees to that party, though, include Travis Kelce, who obviously won't be there this year, probably. And I guess the big question also is Taylor Swift going to show up? And then if she does, what party is she going to be at? So
look at the website for this.
That's the Gronk party. Yeah. That's the day before. And then and that's Saturday.
Gronkbeach.com.
Exactly.
Wow. And you can get a VIP table. Let's see how much it costs you.
I think it's $500, right? $499.
I
mean, that's not bad. I don't know about a table. I thought the VIP one was $500.
$2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $7,000, $8,000 for the lower cabana.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about the Sports Illustrated one. That Gronk is how much?
Depends on what where your table. There's a $2,000 table.
There's a
for a capacity of 6 people on the beach couch, or if you want the lower bungalow, you're going to pay $35,000.
I mean, it must be nice to have that kind of money to just be like, of course. Now, Amy, I know Taylor's performing in Tokyo the night before the Super Bowl, but after the Super Bowl, is she going to take that long plane ride? She could make the game, according to people that did the flight calculations. And then if she stays, she's going to go to a party, I would imagine.
Does that even look fun? Look at all those people jammed in there.
No,
it looks
there
like
was a time,
COVID
Kim,
party is what it looks like.
There was a time where I'd be right in the middle of that. But no.
Spring break Super Bowl style?
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like. I mean, it looks like a fun time. Don't get me wrong. But you know what that picture shows me? That's why you pay $35,000 to have your own little space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like those any of those festivals, they always sell those VIP cabana. You could see the stage, you get your drinks brought to you. There's a reason why you pay that, so you don't have to go through that nonsense. And if you want to, you can dip out, go right there, hang out with Gronk.
There he is.
Dance your ass off, but no.
All his glory.
Yeah.
No thanks.
But if Taylor Swift shows up, that'll be a question of what party she goes to. I don't know if she'd show up to Gronk's party or the Fontainebleau, but I'm sure they'd want her to. Guy Fieri is also hosting a party on Super Bowl Sunday. It's a tailgate party, but it's nowhere near the stadium. So it starts at 10:30 and it lasts until kickoff. Obviously, it's the tailgating party. It's going to feature world famous DJ Diplo, and country music artist Dustin Lynch. But it's about 15 minutes away by car. And if you want to walk it back to Allegiant Stadium, it's about an hour to walk it. But yeah, he's going to have all sorts of food, chefs there. It's expected to host 15,000 people. But this is the best part. Some of those spots can be free through registration. Others can be purchased for about $20. Or you can have guaranteed entry for up to $100,000. So if you really, really want to go, you can pay $100,000 to do it, or you could try to get in for free, which I think that's kind of generous a little bit. I don't know how many free tickets are going to give out, but you could try to purchase a ticket for $20. But I can only imagine the line of trying to get some food at that tailgate party. It's probably going to be a bit of a nightmare. So.
Is it? I'm old now, so none of this sounds fun to me. That I would want to shove myself into these incredibly crowded spaces with all these wacky drunk people.
No. I wouldn't want to do it simply because, like, for instance, if I was going to go to Guy Fieri's party, look at all those people. And two, I probably want to eat some of the food. And then I'm waiting in line. And who knows how good it's going to be, because serving that many people, I don't care what chef you are, it's difficult, right? So I don't know. I feel like, I'd probably pass.
This is billed as a massive tailgate party. And you know what's interesting is he's not a 49ers fan. He's a Raiders fan.
I know, which is another reason why I wouldn't want to go at all. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm staying home. Are you going to watch? You're going to watch the game, but you're just not going to watch the game, right?
I'm going to watch the game because of you.
Oh, I love you. Thank you.
And so I'll watch the game and I'll pay attention to the halftime and the commercials like I usually do. And I'll try not to like zone out or tune out, but I'll have the game on.
Yeah. I mean, it's just don't bother me. Just don't text me. If we're not doing well, don't text me or I won't talk to you.
I didn't text you last time. I'm like, I was trying to think of all the funny things I could say or all the, the ribbing things I could say. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, no, I'll be losing.
You take this very seriously.
Yes.
So to me, it's just sports ball. It's just a game.
Well, normally, like any other year, it would just be, it's not that it would be sports ball. I love the Super Bowl. I really watch it. I watch the game, but my team is in it, Kim.
Yeah,
like there's a difference when you're watching the Super Bowl and your team is in it versus just watching the Super Bowl for the fun part of you like football and you like to watch it. So
I notice when you talk about them afterward, you say we. Like we didn't do this or we didn't.
Did.
Like,
I am
you
there.
They didn't. Were you on the field? No. But you are. You consider yourself part of this experience.
Is there.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. No. We are going to kick some ass on Sunday, Kim McAllister. We are saying our prayers. We are doing all our superstitious stuff. We are in it. And exactly. Kim Schaffer knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So anxious. And again, I'm not trying to say, oh, we've got this in the bag.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited to see what we do. And Kim, I just don't know if I could emphasize this enough. We have been so close so many times in recent years. We're not like these teams that, we might make the playoffs and let's see how far we go. Going to the NFC Championship game, going to the Super Bowl in 2020. It's not as if we haven't been here. I want to take it home this time. I want it to be Brock Purdy because the story is so awesome. You know what I mean? And yeah. We, the fans, give them energy. Well said, Lisa. Absolutely. So,
and maybe that's the draw of sports is that it's this collective, you're all in it together. Everyone. And there is, even for people that are not super sports fans like me, when the home team, the professional, and I'm not even a football fan. I don't like the fact that they're smashing their heads together for no reason.
Exactly. I mean, it could be safer, but
it's still exciting to see your home team go to the big, the big deal.
Absolutely. Anonymous, I wish the Niners would open Levi's for a watch party the same way Detroit opened their stadium for fans to watch when they played SF for the NFC Championship game. There is a watch party at Thrive City. That's in San Francisco, though. I agree with you. I wish that they would do it too. But as far as I know, they're not, which is kind of a missed opportunity, I would say. Like how people would pay for tickets if they could be there and open up the concessions. Blast it. I don't know. But as far as I know, they're not doing that.
Katie says, I grew up near the eastern end of Golden Gate Park where Kezar's housed. The game day was so exciting. I love them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And Chris is like, is this what religious people experience on Sunday? I can't speak for all religious people, but I do remember one time on Super Bowl Sunday, we were out there and the priest even said during church, it's like, we're going to keep this a short one because I know we got a game to watch. So there's a lot of people. Ooh, what did your love bring?
He brought me something lovely. He brought me a cookie that says
Amor.
Isn't that nice? How sweet is that?
Valentine's
I know,
Day.
that was sweet. Oh, and another treat. What else did I get? I'm getting all kinds of stuff. It's an almond croissant. Look at that.
Ooh, where did he get it from?
For Water Street Bistro? Yes. Yeah, Water Street Bistro.
Nice.
Yeah. Which means it's the real French kind.
Yeah.
Fancy. Thank you.
Nice.
Wow, that's a surprise.
Look at your hubby. He wanted a little cameo of his love for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Allison writes, so with you, Nikki, about winning the Super Bowl this year. They're so fun to watch live, and Purdy's story is amazing. I was just, was it ABC 7, I think, did an interview with his high school, and they were talking about what kind of student he was and how authentic he was. And he doesn't seem to have a lot of ego. And I would say like a lot of players on our team don't seem to have a lot of ego. But, for someone that's this is his second pro year. I mean, it blows my mind. It's such a great story. And It's going to be hard though. I'm just tempering my expectations. I'm totally faithful. I believe we're going to win.
Yeah, that's what Vilma says. You need to realize, Nikki, it's been a good season for the Niners.
It has.
Be happy they made it all this way to the Super Bowl. Win or lose, they are our team, she says.
Exactly.
We will cry with them or celebrate if they win.
Yeah, and Luis, thank you for the $10 donation. He's like, sorry, Nikki, remember the fix is in. The deep state has already arranged a Casey win because of the election. LOL, here's a contribution toward your first therapy session. Thank you, Luis. I appreciate the donation.
You could just call Luis and he'll give you the therapy, I think. That'll work. Yeah.
Listen, I just feel like this whole script writing, which has been this conspiracy theory all year, like, and George Kittle has even made jokes about it. He's like, the script writers were busy today. That of course Casey's going to win because you want to give it to Travis and Taylor. And no, listen to me. Football is football is football. They are not scripting it. This is the Super Bowl. No. Donald says Purdy should not run too much. The Chiefs will be waiting to crunch him. The Chiefs are going to be waiting no matter what, but we have our own talent. Like, we are a talented team. We are not I'm going off on sports talk here. We are not a team that lucked out getting here. We are a very good team. We had an excellent score. And I'm sorry, just to remind you, people that think that Brock Purdy can't beat Patrick Mahomes, Brock Purdy beat Tom Brady. So let's stop acting like he can't beat top tier quarterbacks. Okay. He did. He surprised a bunch of people, and I have faith he will surprise a ton of people in America on Sunday. Kim says we had a chance to be in it last year. If the Eagles hadn't killed his arm early in the game, he proved himself last year. Exactly. And we kicked the Eagles' ass this year. So there you go. There you go. Okay. I'm done. The Niners are going to do it. I'll be, so tomorrow I'll be doing the raffle. I'll wear Niner gear tomorrow too, since I'm going to be gone on Friday. I'll be at KCBS, who's doing this whole thing on, they have a great, like, one of the people there has made a whole field for the Super Bowl, and it's all decorated, and everyone's going to be wearing Niner gear on Friday. So
I'm surprised they want you to come into the station. They should send you straight to Levi's Stadium.
No, they have Mike DeWald. If anybody listens to KCBS, he has had the assignment every Sunday, the past 2 games. He was able to go to Levi's and cover the game for KCBS and did an awesome job. But yeah, I would love to go. But I kind of feel like also I would be like this little girl, like, hey, talk to me. They're so big. Vilma says, I once won a playoff ticket from KGO to a playoff game. The only game I ever went to, Brett Favre killed us in that game. It was cold and we lost. Give me the best seat at home anytime. Yeah. It always does suck to buy tickets or win tickets and then your team doesn't win. But that's just the price of admission, friends. Kim says the Raiders beat KC during the regular season this year. Yeah, the Raiders suck. So, but I will always say that. I don't care what the record is for the Raiders. The Raiders always suck in my eyes. And all your Raider fans can suck it. I don't care. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'm excited. It's going to be a great time. And of course, if it doesn't go our way, it doesn't go our way. And that's the any given Sunday, as they say. Mm-hmm. So, but I will not be in a good mood on Monday. Just let you know, I will not be in a good mood. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Oakland, staying in Oakland. Did you see this? So the the current mayor of Las Vegas, she was on this show. I'm trying to find the show. I apologize.
Oh, speaking of sports, this one's a real doozy.
Yeah. So listen to this. She's doing this interview, obviously, because the Super Bowl is in Las Vegas. Las Vegas mayor is talking about having big events, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's just one of the things they have to find a bunch of topics to talk about. Listen to this interview that the mayor of Las Vegas gave.
We have a very large complex, probably about 60 acres. We probably could cobble together more land so they could possibly have 100 acres. And
so there she is. She's talking about the A's stadium in Las Vegas.
It's in the historic old part of town, which is where all major interstate highways come together. We have 7 access points to it. It is in an opportunity zone. There are all these benefits. And so when they said no, I thought, this doesn't make sense. And so why is it happening? And then I thought, well, because they really want to stay in Oakland, they want to be on the water, they have that magnificent dream, and yet they can't get it.
Would it be a good thing if the A's do in fact move to the Tropicana?
I personally, I'm not talking about anybody else, anywhere else in this community. I personally think they've got to figure out a way to stay in Oakland to make their dream come true. We have
So she was getting vilified. Yes. So she gave that interview yesterday earlier in the day. Okay. Obviously it just breaks and everyone's like, what? So then she puts out a statement. She's like, I want to be clear that I'm excited about the prospect of Major League Baseball, not the A's,
right?
Major League Baseball in Vegas. And it very well may be that the Las Vegas A's will become a reality that we will welcome to our city. And then she said, oh, it was Front Office Sports Podcast. That's what it was. And, they were talking about everything about the Super Bowl being a milestone for the city of Las Vegas. And she said, we only talked about the A's for 7 minutes. And I mentioned the passionate fans of Oakland who often visit our city to cheer on the Raiders. My point included that it's my belief that in their perfect world, the ownership of the A's would like to have a new ballpark on the water in Oakland, and that the ownership and government there should listen to their great fans and try to make that dream come true. What do you think about that? I mean, I feel like she's right, but John Fisher doesn't give a rat's behind about the Oakland A's fans. He wants Vegas. He's made it abundantly clear that he wants Vegas. And look, they're gone. They're gone. They're gone. They're gone. They're not coming back. It's not going to happen. It's not going to be this sort of dream that comes true. Say bye, Oakland, because the A's are going to be in Vegas.
What does it say when the mayor of Las Vegas is like, you should really stay in Oakland?
Well,
no thanks. No thanks, A's.
I think that she's also surprised that the A's couldn't make it work. Like, we tried everything to keep the A's, and at the last minute, I mean, really, because the negotiations and all that stuff was still going on. She was like, wait, what?
Shouldn't the mayor of Las Vegas be like, come here. We'll love to have you. We'd love to pay for it. We'd love to get have a baseball team in our city and have a new stadium and have all the money that comes with it. I mean, look what happened with the Giants in San Francisco. They built a new ballpark and it opened up all this economic opportunity around this whole area. I don't know. I mean, when the mayor, who's, should be looking at this as an economic chance for Las Vegas to rake in even more cash, says they should stay in Oakland.
Ooh. Well, it's because they don't want to pay for it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of money. Yeah. Now, when was this? This was last year. I mean, they've already pledged $380 million in taxpayer money toward the stadium. At this point, and I don't know if it's gone up since this news report, it's $1.5 billion. That's the stadium. But it's, a lot of people are saying, wait, why are we spending this much money? A's owner John Fisher was able to somehow lobby the Nevada legislature into granting him $380 million. The teachers are suing. They don't want the money to go to that. They're challenging the legality of that approval of $380 million. The suit alleges the bill actually required a 2/3 majority vote rather than the standard majority vote. There's pressure on, like, where's this money coming from? We don't want it to go to this. Somebody was saying, when we want to pay teachers more, when we want X, Y, and Z that's good for everybody, there's no money. But, you want to build a stadium? All of a sudden there's money to give to these people. And it's annoying. And it's a lot of people are saying it's not there. And again, as I said before, the A's are going to be a very small fish in a very big pond of things to do in Las Vegas. I don't know why you would want to be just one thing, and you better have a good team. They better do well, right? Or why are you building this? You think people are just going to want to see the A's? They're going to want to see whatever team they're probably paying versus the actual Las Vegas A's. It's the same with the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders, it's hard for them to be the quote unquote home team every time because people visit Vegas and they're like, oh, for instance, but the Niners are playing. Let's go to Vegas and see the Niners play. So they're wearing their red in their stadium, their toilet bowl of a stadium, and rooting on not the home team. So, it's a little difficult, I feel like, to truly make a claim on an area as your home team when the town is Las Vegas. It just is. It's like you have a residency there. It's not like you're the home team, in my not so humble opinion. So we'll see what happens. Bad news for Oakland, though. I mean, they can't buy a good headline. That's all I'm saying. No, they really can't. Do you hear LeVar Armstrong is suing the city of Oakland over his firing? Newsom, the whole sending of all these CHP officers and all this help while needed, still not a good headline. Like, these are not the headlines you want surrounding your city. Teams leaving, CHP moving in, and you can't find a police chief. Apparently, the mayor can't in all of this time. So it's really, really tough times for Oakland. I feel for them. I really do wish that things turn around, but I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening very quickly, unfortunately. So Chris says, I used to go to minor league games all the time. Big business ignores the real fans. Yeah. Mario says, I don't understand why taxpayers fund stadiums and the team owners rake in the cash. I don't either. Ron says the LV Knights, which is their hockey team, do well, but it's a much smaller venue to fill. Exactly. I have a couple friends that live in Vegas, and they were totally stoked. And, well, he's also a Raider fan, my friend. So he's stoked to get that the Raiders moved out there. But he's a huge Knights fan. And that's awesome if you want to do it. But again, to take the A's from a city that wanted to invest in it, and where they would be the only sports team, to throw them in this very crowded pool of entertainment, I just don't get it.
Didn't there used to be no professional sports teams in Las Vegas because of the gambling?
Yeah, I think that was it.
And then now all of a sudden it's okay and we're just filling them all up.
They want money. Thank you, Doug, for the $5 super sticker. You're awesome. Beth says, I've been an A's fan since 1973. F. Fisher, he ruined my enthusiasm. Yeah. Louise says the A's couldn't fill a taco stand on Taco Tuesday because they sucked, and they raised the prices. They got rid of the good players. They were screwing their fans. I mean, how much do you want people to pay to see a team that's not good? I understand, being faithful. Like for the Niners, I would still want to see the Niners, but again, it just goes to show that Fisher just drove that team into the ground, and now he has to build it back up. I'm assuming that the Las Vegas is going to want to see a return on this investment of a team that actually can compete. You would definitely want that, I would assume. Look what happened to the Raiders. Okay, let's move on. Let's not bag on Oakland anymore. Let's bag on. Did you see who just had? Well, I guess the news just broke. Elon Musk now has even more children. He has announced, or it's been revealed, that he has twins now with someone that he worked with that he talked into having his children. They're not together. They're not dating. She used him as a sperm donor.
Didn't he already have a kid?
He has like 10 children or something like that. Yeah, he has so many children. He has.
Is this the same lady who had his last baby?
No, this is somebody that worked for
so was the last lady,
but
she was like an engineer or something.
Didn't they date for a while?
I don't think so. She just he just wanted her to have his kids, and so she did. She might have had one, and now she has two more. I don't know.
Well, this senior executive at Neuralink, this is the relationship. Siobhan Zillis apparently was contemplating sperm donation when Musk convinced her to consider him as a donor. And she says he really wants smart people to have kids, so he encouraged me to. When faced with a choice between an anonymous donor and Musk, whom she greatly admires, Zillis described the decision as very straightforward. They never dated. They're not in a romantic relationship, but he has expressed his commitment to helping what he considers a huge problem of underpopulation.
What?
Yeah. He doesn't think that enough people are having children. And so he's trying to do his part to have more kids. So he has multiple children. Let's see. He's the father of multiple other children, obviously, so he has it with, what's her name? Oh, that weird woman. She looks weird. I forget.
The singer.
The singer. I think it's with a G or something like that. He has 11 children. That's how many children he has. He has 5. He shares 5 children with his first wife, Justine Wilson.
Grimes.
Grimes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
They had twins who are now 19 years old. He had triplets with Kai, named Kai, Damien, and Sax. They were born in 2006. His eldest son, Nevada, unfortunately passed away at 10 weeks, I think it says. Yeah, 10 weeks old. And then he has more children with the musician Grimes. They had a third child. The child's full name is Mechanicus. I think it has like X or something. And he has another one, Extra Dark something. He has like weird named children. And then now he's decided to be a sperm donor for Siobhan Zillis. I don't know, man. Do you want Elon Musk to have like all these people all over the world? Apparently there's men in history where their lineage dates back so far, and he's admiring them. John says, I think it's good that he's not raising them. But.
Think of the ego, though. The ego to think your DNA is superior to everyone else's. And so you want to propagate the species with your own sperm and have all these children. It's important for him to have all these children so that his strong genes can be out in the world.
Yeah.
The ego.
Yeah, because it was 2022 when he said, I'm doing my best to help the underpopulation crisis. A collapsing birth rate is the biggest danger civilization faces so far. Okay, man, I guess. But he doesn't actually have I guess he's not having a role in these twins' lives. He just wants to drop his sperm and bounce, I guess.
Does he have to pay child support?
I would assume
or
so.
Is that just a
sperm?
Is that just a sperm donor deal where you're like,
with
no
her?
problem.
Yeah, that's a good.
I'll give you the sperm, but you're on your own. And if you know that you're Elon Musk's kid, when he kicks the bucket, do you line up with all the others to take your rightful spot in the
I would imagine there has to be something in the contract that says no, you can't be coming after me for some sort of child support or anything like that because that's not. He would have so many child support payments. I mean, Grimes, if you're in a relationship and you're raising that child, fine. Luis, new conspiracy. Musk is an alien and is personally curating his invasion army. Well, hopefully not.
He might be right. He might be right. God.
John, wait until he figures out cloning technology.
Oh, God.
This is going down the rabbit hole, though. I mean, I could... Actually, that's not too far off, though. Chris says Elon doesn't have the looks, though. That's funny. I mean, ever since he got his hair plugs, he looks way better than he did before when he was bald. I'm not saying that he's an attractive person to me, but I wouldn't say that he's ugly. He would have to name one of his kids, let me introduce my son X. Yeah, I don't think he's introducing his kids to anybody. I'm pretty sure the moms are doing most of the work here. Yeah, he had male pattern baldness at 25. I'm sure he could figure out something to fix that. Maybe that'll be his contribution in addition to all these children.
That'll be his gene therapy that he creates.
Exactly. And one more parenting story, and then if you have some more headlines, we'll get to those. I teased this before, but Elizabeth Holmes celebrated her 40th birthday with her kids in the prison yard. So she was running around with her kid, toddler son that's 2 years old, and then her daughter who's about 1. I don't wish this woman ill. I think that she, obviously she was wrong. She stole money. She's lying, right?
She doesn't feel remorse for stealing the money.
Well, she does. I still don't think she thinks that she did anything wrong. What I will say, though, is it's bad that she did this.
She knew her technology was bogus. She knew it didn't do what she said.
She's a liar.
She's a total liar. You had to pay the piper, man.
Yeah, but I do feel for these children. And again, like I mentioned before, I understand what you mentioned about wanting to have children. She's 40 now, and her kids are 1 and 2. So obviously that window was quickly closing.
This is the only opportunity. I better crank these kids out.
But at the same time, like, these kids don't have their mother. No, I'm not saying they have a terrible life. But again, it seems so sad that this is the life that she chose to bring them into. Apparently, though, which made me not laugh, one of the women that's also in the prison camp or was in the prison camp is Jen Shaw, who was a former star of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She's also she came to prison after Elizabeth Holmes, but Shaw's teaching workout classes. I don't know. I'm not saying that female prison is fun, but I'm really interested to see how it differs. Mm-hmm. Is it anything like, Orange is the New Black or anything like that? I don't want to personally find that out. I'm not saying that. I just feel sad for the kids. Yeah, Mario, she's not only a liar, she's also a thief. And Beth, that was also my thinking. I thought she had that last kid to avoid going to prison. She was using it. I'm pregnant. Don't send me to prison. I want to see my babe. No, you should have thought about that before you decided to have these children. And again, it's so sad that the first moments that these children are going to remember of celebrating her mom's birthday is in prison. Now, this is a minimum security federal prison in Bryan, Texas. So
I feel bad for the children, but not for her.
Exactly. So happy birthday, Elizabeth Holmes, turning 40. But you have to pay the piper for all those crimes you committed. All right, let's do a few more headlines, and then we'll wrap up the show with something that's really sweet. I always want to end it. I try to at least end it on a up note. So let's do some headlines. Click the thumbs up button, and a big thank you to people that have donated to the PayPal raffle. Also, Luis came in with a $10 donation, and Doug came in with a $5 super sticker. Thank you guys so much for donating to the show. We really do appreciate it. Get the raffle tickets in today. It ends at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, February 8th. At 8 a.m. But if you could do it today, we really do appreciate it. I'll give you more of those details towards the end of the show as well. But here's Kim with some more headlines.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
I love being the news czar. I have to say, it's the best job in the world.
It is, isn't it?
Texas is standing its ground against the Biden administration in the ongoing battle over how to secure the southern border. Governor Greg Abbott set to return to Eagle Pass, Texas tomorrow. It's been less than a week since he hosted a group of governors there. Tomorrow's visit includes a group of state lawmakers, and there will reportedly be a border security announcement. Migrant activity in Eagle Pass has slowed down in recent weeks.
I mean, it's so complicated, but I just really feel like it's a bit heartless with the barbed wire and the letting people drown and all this sort of stuff. I just wish they can get it together, but they can't.
The push to impeach Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas is shameful and baseless. That is what the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, told reporters today after the Republican-led impeachment failed in the House. She called on Republicans to stop wasting their time and instead take action to address the issues at the border by voting for the bipartisan Senate immigration deal. That bill, though, appears to be going nowhere in the Senate. Speaker Mike Johnson says he plans to bring the resolution to impeach Mayorkas to the floor for a second vote soon. So they're not done yet.
And now Biden's trying to, use this as a campaign slogan, kind of blame the border crisis on the GOP. I don't think that's going to play universally. But if the GOP had this opportunity to do something and did nothing, then it does seem a bit disingenuous to keep blaming Biden.
Well, and it's like, how many times do you have to bring the vote to the floor to show that you couldn't get it together, that you don't have everything, dealt with. Yeah. And I was reading a quote last night from a Republican who said, on the other side, they don't have this problem. They know how to count votes. Like they don't do something like
Nancy
this.
Nancy Pelosi would have never done this.
No, that's embarrassing. If you don't have the votes, then what are you bringing the thing to the floor for? Come on now.
Oh, he's taking a poop.
The Supreme Court on Thursday will hear a case that could dramatically impact the 2024 presidential election. The High Court will consider whether Donald Trump is ineligible for a second term in office. The justices will hear arguments on the Colorado Supreme Court's ruling disqualifying Trump from appearing on that state's ballot. The justices, all appointed by Democratic governors, agreed the former president took part in an insurrection during the 2021 Capitol riot. The former president's legal team argues Trump's actions around the attack do not amount to insurrection. There's also a question as to whether the president of the United States is technically an officer of the United States. And so then does the wording apply to the office of president?
It does. It's crazy.
Duh. Yeah. Well, we'll see how this all shakes out, but it's interesting. And this is all going down tomorrow at the United States Supreme Court. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley had been expected by many to win the Nevada Republican primary yesterday.
But no.
Came up a little bit short there because how bad is this? The voters chose none of these candidate option. There's an option that said none of these candidates, and that's who people voted for. A conflict of rules resulted in former President Trump not being on that ballot. He will, however, be in the running in Thursday's caucus. So it's interesting there. They have this primary ballot, which doesn't matter as much apparently as their caucuses that they hold in Nevada. Right. So that is expected for Trump to cruise to victory there. Haley vowed to stay in the race against Trump, even if the polls have her trailing by double digits. So yeah, that's important when she's the Republican on the ballot. Trump's not on the ballot, and still voters choose none of these candidates. President Biden, though, on the Democratic ballot, overwhelming victory.
There was what was it? Brewster's Millions, right? Do you ever see that movie? Brewster's Millions.
It's been a while.
It's a very, very old Richard Pryor, John Candy, great movie. But there was this whole scene. He needed to spend a lot of money, right? Yeah, that was the whole point of the thing, is to spend all that money. And he did this whole political campaign of none of the above. That was it. He didn't want to be it. He's like, vote for none of the above. That's when I heard this story. That's instantly what I thought. I was like, that's fabulous. We are literally imitating an old Richard Pryor movie. Fabulous.
How embarrassing is that? This is an interesting development, I will say. Some Russian planes detected off the coast of Alaska.
Uh-oh.
I can see Tucker Russia Carlson from my house. Yeah, Tucker Carlson's waving. Hello.
Hi. It's getting right back.
So the North American Aerospace Defense Command says 4 Russian warplanes were detected off the coast of Alaska. These aircraft were tracked in the Alaska Air Defense Identification Zone on Tuesday. In a statement, NORAD said the Russian aircraft remained in international airspace and did not enter American or Canadian sovereign airspace. Still, though, they're not used to seeing them so close.
I would be very concerned. Yes.
What are you doing there? I don't know if we want you there.
No, we don't. How about that? I'm just going to say no, we don't.
In Fairfield, a 15-year-old boy is behind bars for a school scare. Police arrested him at home yesterday because of a prank call last Friday. He is accused of saying someone had a gun at Vanden High, where he is also a student. Police say this is known as swatting. It is an attempt to get a big emergency response in a certain place. The call put the school and 2 other nearby campuses on lockdown until officers confirmed there was no real threat. Can you imagine, though, and the fear that creates?
Well, I mean, again, like, why? Why? The only thing I can think of is, well, you don't want to go to school. You have a test. Something's happening at school. Like, don't do this. It's so stupid. Yeah, exactly, Donald. What a dumb twit. Exactly. Yeah, no, it's
well said.
What would you do if that was your kid? What if they they call you up and you're like, your child swatted the school? I mean, I don't know what I would do, honestly. It some of these situations that I can only imagine. We were talking about the Crumbly case yesterday, which obviously is a horrific thing. People lost their lives, but this is a prank, quote unquote prank. What do you do? And what should the punishment be for the parents? Should there be any consequence to the parents?
First thing, write a letter of apology to the Petaluma Police Department.
I love Kim. Okay, yeah.
Second thing, write a letter of apology to the Petaluma City School District.
Right.
Third thing, write a letter of apology to all the other students at your school for scaring them. Yeah. And we have a big discussion about what that means psychologically to other students at the school.
Yes.
You know, and then we take your ass to a psychologist or a psychiatrist who can figure out why the hell you did
would do
this.
Something like that, yeah.
Right? Because this goes now beyond what I'm understanding.
Right.
Because I can understand you to a certain point, but when you do something like that, I maybe it's beyond. I need help, right? Fixing this for you.
Yeah, Ms. Organic says take away all devices, then community service for 3 months, feed the homeless or something like that. I would even say, you have to volunteer for some sort of either mental health organization or not school shooting, but, something to do with gun reform or something. So people understand, like, we have a real problem in this country that you shouldn't make light of simply because you want to be silly or do a prank at the school. It is serious.
Letter of apology to everyone you hurt, to everyone you affected that day.
Everyone in the whole city, start writing.
I'm telling you what, an open letter posted in the letter to the editor page in the Press Democrat. Absolutely.
Do you think that this is an example of bad parenting if your kid does something like this?
No, I don't. I think kids do stupid stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, don't you feel like there's some failure somewhere? Like,
their brains aren't fully cooked, and kids do stupid stuff. And I won't make excuses and say it's okay, but I also don't want to throw a kid away who makes a dumb phone call and does something stupid.
Exactly.
This is not I've actually hurt and killed people and taken away their lives.
Right.
This is I scared the crap out of people because I did something boneheaded.
Right. I thought it'd be funny. It's not funny.
So now we have to figure out why you did this, why you thought it was okay. Where did I go wrong in not teaching you, right? That I expected you to have a certain level of common sense, and somehow that our wires got crossed on who I thought you were and who you've turned out to be right now.
I would never want the disappointed conversation from Kim McAllister. That's all I'm saying. I even feel bad, and I didn't even do the damn thing. I'm so disappointed in you, Nikki. I would feel so sad. I'd be like, I'm so sorry, Kim. You're good at it. You got it on lock. You're good. You're good.
Oh my God.
Where did we go wrong? What happened? Oh,
yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, Vicky, I agree. Kids do stupid things sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think also that you can't, it's not the moment where maybe I'm wrong about this. I would say it's not the moment to lighten up.
No.
It's the moment where you double down on let's talk about why this isn't okay. Let's talk about, because they're not thinking about who they affect. They're not thinking about how scary that is for some students.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about how scary that is for teachers. They're not thinking about all the money the city has to, pay, or how there's a cop whose wife is pregnant and they're rushing to the school thinking this is the day I die. They're not thinking about the fear that they're putting into the people's hearts. And so I feel like you really need to if they didn't understand it before, if you thought they understood it, they need to understand how scary that can be to people.
Absolutely.
And then they won't do stuff like that, right?
I would hope. Jeez.
I remember Jacob. And this is, I think, where parents go wrong. Sorry. Oh, how much time do we have left in the show?
It's okay. No. You can't tease that and not tell us.
So Jacob, standing next to some kid in line, and I think this was second grade, a couple years ago, and he gives them, it's probably politically incorrect to say now, it's an Indian burn.
Right.
Where you rub the skin either way.
Yeah.
And he's been told, you never put your hands on another child at school.
No, you do not.
That's just not cool. But they're standing in line and they're horsing around and whatever. And he gives the kid a whatever it's called. And I get a call from the teacher that Jacob has done this. So I say, and this is right after COVID, right?
Right.
Where kids are still, they're in second grade, but they're kind of like still in kindergarten because they've been out of school for 2 years.
Isolated.
They don't know how to deal with each other, right?
Right.
And he knew that I sat with him every single day, right? Before the shows started, and we'd get all the school work done. And so I'm basically sitting there at the table making sure that he does all of his work. And he didn't fall behind academically, but he did a little bit socially. But also it wasn't so pleasant because I'm there. You can't goof off when your mom's sitting right there.
You're right there.
So I said, when you put your hands on another child, that means you lose the right and privilege to go to school and be around other children. So tomorrow you will stay home with me and we will do school from home.
Wow.
And I am telling you, I was the worst mother that day. I was yelling, Mom. I beat on the table when he wasn't paying attention. Like, imagine how much of a bitch you could be. That was me. Like the worst teacher in the world.
You don't want to go to my school anymore.
I didn't want him to have an easy, fun day.
Of course.
I wanted it to be miserable for him so that he would want to go back to school and get away from me.
Yeah.
And you know what?
He did.
It totally worked.
Good.
And even now, if something happens, I'll say, do you want to have
Go
school at home?
School?
Do you want to have school from home with me? Because I can do that for you. And he's like, no. And I know some people think it's bad to scare the hell out of your kids like that, but I think there are other parents who, they don't react strongly enough, or they say, oh, well, the school will discipline you, whatever.
Exactly.
And then there's nothing happens at home. I'm telling you, whatever the school can dish out, it's worse here.
Absolutely.
It is worse here.
I love that story. That is so funny.
Yeah, I was being mean. I was absolutely being mean.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not done with news. My bad. My bad. I got a little distracted there.
It's okay.
Sacramento is ranked as the most dangerous city for driving in California.
Oh, really?
That according to a ranking from Resolve in partnership with the Hidari Law Group. Using car data from the California Office of Traffic Safety, the ranking puts Sacramento as the worst city to drive in California. According to the ranking, Sacramento struggles with a dense road network and experiences a distressing rate of both fatal and injury accidents. Not good looking for Sacramento. Here's that beautiful city. What they would say is that other cities that landed in the worst or most dangerous places to drive but fared a little better in the ranking than Sacramento: Oakland, Anaheim, Long Beach, and San Francisco.
I will say this as someone who's driven in Sacramento, and I didn't even throw Chico in this. They have random one-way streets, in my opinion, where it's not clearly marked enough. So San Francisco sometimes has those too, where all of a sudden you're facing a car.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to go that way. Sacramento, though, that's interesting because their grid is pretty straightforward.
Their streets are not as narrow.
Right.
It's not like driving in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Where one wrong overcorrection and you're into somebody else's narrow lane and smacking around with, bumper
that is
cars in the
surprising.
city.
I didn't have a problem traveling in Sacramento when I lived there, but okay.
We're back to the NFL.
Dun, dun, dun.
A conservative group insists the NFL's Rooney Rule is racist. So this is the rule that requires football teams to interview at least one minority candidate during the hiring process. Listen to who's coming out against this. America First Legal, which is led by former Trump advisor Stephen Miller, filed a complaint with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission claiming the 2003 rule is discriminatory. It is the latest in a string of complaints the group has filed recently against various sports leagues and companies. In November, it targeted airlines for race and sex discrimination. An NFL spokesperson telling The Hill it's proud of the work that they've done to promote equal employment opportunities.
Well, I mean, I just feel like you should want as a diverse pool of candidates as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fact that, it took so long to get Black head coaches to the NFL, given the fact that we have so many Black players and other races as well, of course. But here's the thing. I do feel like something like this could be at risk because of the singling out. White is default, and you guys, people can argue it all they want to, but it is, and I'm not saying there's not a reason why we need the Rooney Rule. I will also ask the question: when do we realize we don't need the rule? When is it just the default that, of course, you're going to have a diverse pool of candidates? And I think that's what we want to aspire to: is we don't need rules to want diversity. That's complicated.
Lastly, gamblers now have the opportunity to mix sports and politics. That's right up your alley, Nikki.
That's all we need.
Bet Online Marketplace is offering a variety of politically charged Super Bowl prop bets before Sunday's big game. Some of the most popular bets include 10-1 odds that Taylor Swift will endorse President Joe Biden after the Chiefs win the game. If more people watch the Super Bowl or vote in the 2024 election, if Usher will say Biden's name during his performance, and if any jokes about either Biden or Trump are made in commercials during the game.
Yes. I would imagine something political in a commercial, perhaps. Maybe not, though. Those prop bets, they are so much fun to just look at. Even if you don't bet on them, it's just really funny what people will bet on nowadays.
Hilarious.
That is awesome.
This report is sponsored by you, which means that we do rely on you to support the show. Find us at thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com, Patreon, PayPal, it's all there. The Super Chat, Super Stickers are open. Of course, we have to thank Luis for the $10
Luis.
super super sticker. We have to thank Doug coming in with 5 and
you.
Ron Cook with 20.
Thank you, Ron.
Nice. Thank you guys
so
for
awesome.
Thank you for supporting the Nikki Medoro show, because I love that girl, Nikki Medoro, right there.
I love that girl.
Anyway, thank you for all the ways that you support the Nikki Medoro show. I'm Kim McAllister on the Nikki Medoro show.
Okay, so we only have about a minute left before I'm going to start saying the goodbyes, and I'll remind you guys about the raffle in just a moment. But we were just talking about kids and parenting and being good students. I just want to end on this up note, and it was mentioned on the Today Show. It was an 8th grade science teacher in Illinois. This is like good news on top of good news. So he sees that this student that he has in his class is pretty poor, and his jacket is torn. Okay. And so he's like, hey, give me your jacket. I have a kid at home that sews, and she'll fix it for you. Well, when the kid gets the jacket back, there's a note inside the pocket. And it says, hey, child, it's me, the magical coat fixer. Hope it holds up, and please send it back if it doesn't. Sorry, I couldn't make it as invisible as I hoped, but I did my best. Also, since you're in 8th grade, I love this. I'm not 100% sure which grade my dad teaches. Okay. I thought you could use some 11th grade advice. Middle school sucks. You're almost free. You can make it. Good luck. P.S. Seriously, send the coat back if it breaks. This took me like 15 minutes. And it was from his 17-year-old daughter, Brianna. Why do I love this note so much? One, obviously the kid went to the teacher and said, thank you so much, and wrote a note back to the thing. But it's just like, this is what you want kids to do. You don't want kids swatting their high school or anything like that. But if there was ever a grade or grades that sucked, it's middle school. And I just thought it was so, 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 so sweet that this high schooler took some time just to kind of acknowledge the fact that middle school's tough. I'll even say freshman year is tough as well. Sorry, people. But, it's those transition years. Yeah, just a lovely kid. And I just like ending on a good note. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, let me just really quick remind you guys. Get your raffle tickets in. We are taking ticket payments until 8 o'clock tomorrow. There is the thing. $10 per ticket. You can either win the 49er cooler or the vintage KGO wine glasses. Thank you to Kay and Candace for donating those raffle prizes. Go to paypal.com. When you hit the send button, put in the email address, thenikkimadoroshow@gmail.com. There should be a comment box. Let me know what you want it to go to. The cooler, the wine glasses, both. You decide. If you forget, just email me at the same email address, thenikkimadoroshow@gmail.com, and we will make sure that the tickets go in the right pool. So get it in. It fundraises for the show because we love doing the show, but we are 100% crowdfunded. And so we need your help. So I do appreciate it. And so does Kim. All right. Tomorrow's show, we'll have some fun. Thank you guys so much. Stay here for the Mark Thompson Show and the After Party Live. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're proud, like a beautiful blossom. You're all so the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.